Today we are covering the sea to sky, starting with riding in Squamish, carving in Whistler, and shooting in Pemberton. Now what about Lillooet? Tune in with the Stir Music Show with Paul McClellan.
Okay, the Stir's going on a road trip for this one. We headed up to Lillooet of all places, and amongst all the beautiful mountains that you have up there, we sat down with George Leach. Now he's about to release his second album, which he hasn't quite decided on a name for yet, even though it's coming out in the next couple months. But it's been 11 years since his last album came out, so there's a lot of anticipation with this one. Let's chat with George on top of the mountain. You study not just music, but you're an artist in many different ways. I've seen your pottery, you act as well. I mean, how do you keep juggling all of these artistic outlets?
Just try to stay alive, man. That's pure and simple motivation. No, it's been really great. The acting thing I put on the back burner for a little bit just to focus on the record. And now that this is up and running, the record's going to be getting out here probably on March. I'm looking for mid-March-ish. I'm just gonna do that, and I do my pottery as well. I'm a potter, so I've been working on that with my brother for the last couple of years, and yeah, just trying to pay the rent.
Is there a favorite maybe amongst these different artistic outlets, or do you?
I like them all in their own way, but the music is the big one that you have a lot more control over the art that you're putting out there. Whereas an actor, you're an actor. There's a director, there's a writer, there's a producer. Whereas the music aspect really allows me to govern exactly what I want out there. So I would go with music, but I don't want to lose any work. So no, they're all my favorites.
Now, I mean, you stretch yourself in all sorts of different directions. Is that just how you've always lived?
Yeah, definitely, because I studied some dance, a little bit of modern dance in the earlier part of my career. I'm a theatre guy. I studied at Theatre Pass Marai and the Factor Theatre out of Toronto. And then, I've always been kind of one of those guys that kind of sees what life has to offer. But yeah, there are times where you got to buckle down and pick one for a little while. And right now, the main focus is my album.
Lastly, though, you still live in Lillooet.
Yeah.
It's not a central location for an acting career or music career. Why Lillooet?
Well, it's for me, you know, I spent, like I said, 13 years in Toronto, so I did that whole hustle and bustle thing. For me, it was just kind of buying more time for my art, because it only takes 5 minutes to go get your grocery shop in 10 minutes, whereas in this big city, you know, you got to plan 45 minutes, get your parking. And so I was just trying to condense my time and create more opportunities for that.
Do you find it an inspiring setting as well, being somewhere you grew up and with such beauty all around?
No, it's really nice here. A lot of my culture comes from here and stuff as well, so, you know, it's just all those things.
Who knew Lillooet was so big on the blues? Now, did you know that the owner of the Tantalus Bike Shop founded the Squamish Toonie in 1995? There's a lot of talent here in the sea to sky, including this teacher/mum/writer. After the break, finding time to write.
What I try and do is get up early before everybody else and write 2 pages in the morning.
Community programming on Shaw has been generously sponsored in part by Artina's handcrafted Canadian jewelry, 387 Water Street in Gastown and Government Street in Victoria.
Welcome back to The Express. I'm your host, Nicole Fitzgerald, and 'tis the season for single-track stages. Mountain biking is in full swing here in Squamish with all trails open. Now, another sport that doesn't quite fit the winter bill is surfing, but it's happening year-round in Tofino.
Quality Assured Collision Road Trip is brought to you by Quality Assured Collision Services and our network of 18 auto body shops across BC.
Today's road trip takes us to the Pacific Rim National Park, as west as you can get on Vancouver Island. It's about 3 hours from Nanaimo.
You've probably heard that old island brag that you can ski and golf here on the same day. Well, surfing should be added to that list. Tofino is the place to be, and Storm is your first stop.
Alistair Fernie opened Storm in 1997. He says his role, along with the rest of the Storm family, is to be ambassadors for the sport of surfing.
You would think that when you came in here, you'd see 16-year-olds to 25-year-olds. Most of our customers are between the age of 25 and 40. And they're people who are doing crossover from skiing or snowboarding into surfing or other extreme sports. What shocks people who come here who don't know anything about surfing is the equipment, how fragile a surfboard is. It also shocks them and it surprises them that they can go out in the water when it's below zero, and that's thanks to the technology of new wetsuits. And at the end of the day, what really surprised them how hard surfing is.
There's even a surfing team here at Storm, ambassadors who embrace, embody, and then promote the spirit of surfing. Peter DeVries is the longest standing member on the Storm surf team.
There we go.
He grew up on the beaches here in Tofino, and he's known as Canada's best technical surfer.
I love surfing here. For me, it's all about the changes in environment. Obviously with surfing you have waves that are changing every day. It doesn't matter where you surf, it's always going to be different. But here we get such unique weather conditions, crazy storms that blow through that I love to surf in because you're usually alone in those kind of conditions. And then we have small summertime days, you know, nice and sunny sometimes, snowing, raining, hailing. We kind of have a mixed bag of everything here. And that's what makes it unique and exciting.
We came here to surf because, yeah, I heard it was like a good place to surf. So yeah, just to check it out.
Today was awesome. There's really nice waves today.
So whether you're inspired to head out and catch a wave yourself or take it all in from the solidity of shore, Tofino and the beaches here are world class.
It's very healing.
I just think it's kind of relaxing. I mean, there's nothing really like Tofino. The ocean and the people are so friendly and the atmosphere. It's just great.
The people are just so friendly and you can connect to them in this sense. It's such a good vibe and spirit.
It makes you feel like a child. The beauty and the waves, everything is literally awesome.
I think it's exciting because you never know what the ocean's going to bring you. You see a wave coming in and you don't know how it's going to break, don't know what's going to happen. It's always exciting when there's a lot of people in the water because you get to see a lot of wipeouts and you know, you see guys ripping, you see guys that can barely surf, and it's really easy to be a spectator. You don't have to pay, you just come show up at the beach and find out where the surfers are and just come and watch for free.
Call it crazy, call it cool, call it whatever you want. Just don't be assuming that surfing is a warm weather, blue water, white sand sport. Whether you come here for the surf or to soak up the atmosphere, Tofino is an awesome winter destination. On Chesterman Beach in the Pacific Rim National Park, I'm Kate Bergen for Quality Assured Collisions Road Trip.
Quality Assured Collision Road Trip has been brought to you by Quality Assured Collision Services and our network of 18 auto body shops across BC.
Even if you don't surf, Tofino is a great getaway. I love going and just watching the storms roll in. There are a lot of mountain biking trails to check out in Squamish. The best way to do it is to pick up a map here at the Tantalus Bike Shop. They update it every couple of months. And you'll need to keep your reading glasses on for our next story as well. Later on in the show, getting a clearer picture on becoming an author in the mountains. Usually fat tire junkies are heading down to the North Shore for some riding, but it's sunshine and single track free of snow here in Squamish. It's also home to the Squamish SPCA. Where would we be without our local animal shelters? Let's see who's up for adoption this week.
Hi, and thanks for visiting the Squamish SPCA. Here are some animals we have available for adoption. This is Calliope. She is approximately 3 years old. She is a spayed female. She is quite shy, Doesn't appreciate being held, but she likes to be pet and she actually loves to have her back scratched. She does get along with dogs and great with other cats, and she's just a real sweet, quiet cat. So this is Indy. She is about 9 weeks old. She's a spayed female, up to date with her vaccines and deworming. She's going to probably mature mid to large size, 50 to 60 pounds. Breed is anybody's guess. She's very, very mixed, but she's wonderful temperament and would make a great family dog.
Welcome to Wagon Whistler. This is Seamus. He's up for adoption. He came to us at the end of October on Halloween. He was unfortunately run over by a vehicle and had a fractured pelvis. So if you think you're the right kind of person to take on a dog who has lots of energy, but will still need some special care for the next little while, this little guy would love to have a warm and friendly home to go to. Come and look for Seamus. This is Sammy. He's up for adoption. He's 5 years old. He's probably one of the snuggliest cats we've had come through. He's an absolute love. He loves good pets, lots of snuggling. He never complains about what time you get home or how much you've eaten. He's the perfect man. If you're interested in getting a cat or a best friend, I think he'd be the man.
Love pets, love animals. The SPCA and WAG are always looking for volunteers to care for the Sea to Sky's cutest residents. Take advantage of dog training at the Cheakamus Doggy Den. Every Wednesday night it's only $15 and all proceeds benefit WAG. Well, many of the bike shops in Whistler aren't open yet, but you can get a tune-up in Squamish. One of the top mechanics here at the Tantalus Bike Shop fixes Brian Semenek's bikes. Top mechanic. Now how about a top scribe? 1 part teacher, 2 parts mom, and still she has time to write.
How many Valentine cards do you have left to do? After breakfast, do you want to do some more? One of the pieces of advice that was most important to me as a writer came from Mary Schendlinger, who works at Geist magazine in Vancouver. And she said to me, Sarah, no one is ever going to give you more time to write. You have to make the time.
Time is precious, especially for a parent.
And then Ben and I will go do the shopping for Sparks.
But even before Sparks Club planning, baking fresh breakfast muffins and readying her kids for school before heading to school herself, this elementary school teacher, business entrepreneur, and mom has already clocked in and out of her other job.
What I try and do is get up early before everybody else and write 2 pages in the morning. It's amazing just writing 2 pages a day. It doesn't take that long before you actually have a full manuscript. 2 snowmobiles speed to a fall.
Mountain Machines was this Whistler author's first.
Stephen Carvello is the illustrator of Mountain Machines, and I have a hard time deciding what my favorite picture is, but I think it's probably the groomers. The picture books obviously don't take as long to write. They're about 70 words, the 2 that I've done, Mountain Machines and Sounds of the Fairy, which is coming out soon. But even so, even though it's not very many words, every single word really has to count. Jake woke in the middle of the night with his heart pounding. Something had startled him out of a dream.
Sarah's word count increased dramatically with her children's novel, Jake Reynolds, Chicken or Eagle, published by Orca.
Chance to attack the 2 kids inside. There's a lot more rewriting. I think I did 17 drafts of Jake Reynolds. Count Me In, which is the one that will be coming out next fall that I'm editing right now. Count Me In is the story of a girl named Tabitha who goes hiking with her aunt and her 2 cousins and the ashes of her dead uncle up to Lake Lovelywater. The river floods and they can't get back.
Taking advantage of festival workshops and critique groups with the Whistler Writers Group, Sarah is now teaching writing classes herself. Just one more thing to add to her growing to-do list, and she wouldn't have it any other way.
I'm definitely not the writer who's burrowing away in a cave. I think I waffle because it would be so nice on the one hand to be able to devote all my day to writing. But on the other hand, I don't know if my writing would be as good.
From Whistler, I'm Nicole Fitzgerald for Shaw TV. Learning to count has never been more fun. Sarah's created an app for the iPad that's based on mountain machines.